Once the baby who symbolized one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking scandals, Dannielynn Birkhead is now 19 and living a life her mother, Anna Nicole Smith, never could. In 2025, she's grown into a thoughtful young woman, steering clear of fame's chaos while embracing her own identity. Raised by her devoted father, she's found stability in a world that once tore her family apart. Her story is no longer one of tragedy, but of quiet strength, grace, and renewal. Few people know this truth that Dannielynn Hope Marshall Stern entered the world surrounded by glamour, confusion, and heartbreak. She was the long-awaited daughter of Anna Nicole Smith, the model and reality TV star who had once been at the center of a media circus over her marriage to oil tycoon J. Howard Marshall. But while her birth should have been a moment of joy, it quickly became the opening chapter in one of Hollywood's most sensational paternity and custody battles. At the time of Dannielynn's birth, Smith listed her attorney and close companion, Howard K. Stern, as the baby's father on the birth certificate. The pair appeared in public together, fiercely defending their relationship and protecting the infant from press intrusion. Yet almost immediately, questions about Dannielynn's paternity began to swirl. Larry Birkhead, a photographer who had dated Anna Nicole before her relationship with Stern, came forward and insisted that he was the child's biological father. What followed was a storm of tabloid speculation, legal filings, and public statements, each more dramatic than the last. Birkhead, unwavering in his belief, petitioned for a DNA test to prove his claim. For months, the case played out on international television as the Bahamas became the stage for an emotional tug-of-war over an innocent baby. But before the matter could be resolved, tragedy struck. On February 8, 2007, Anna Nicole Smith was found dead in a Florida hotel room at just 39 years old, the victim of an accidental drug overdose. Her death mirrored the heartbreaking loss of her son Daniel, who had died only months earlier, days after visiting the newborn Dannielynn in the hospital. With Smith's sudden death, the paternity case took on new urgency. Birkhead's determination to gain custody of his daughter became not just a legal matter, but a deeply personal mission. In April 2007, after weeks of testing, the long-awaited DNA results were announced, and they confirmed what Birkhead had maintained all along. He was Dannielynn's biological father. Standing before cameras, his voice filled with emotion, Birkhead declared, "I'm the father. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the people who got me this far. My baby's going to be coming home pretty soon. Things are moving quickly here and we'll see what happens." In a rare moment of grace amid the chaos, Howard K. Stern accepted the results with dignity. Outside the Nassau courthouse, he embraced Birkhead, a gesture that stunned many who had followed their legal battle. "We're going to do what we can to make sure that the best interests of Dannielynn are carried out," Stern said sincerely. "And I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that he gets sole custody. Larry can come over to the house and spend as much time with Dannielynn as he wants to right now." Before the world knew the name Dannielynn, Anna Nicole Smith was already a mother. Her first child, Daniel Wayne Smith, born on January 22, 1986, was the center of her universe. Her anchor long before fame, fortune, and scandal began to define her life. Daniel was quiet, polite, and mature beyond his years, often serving as the calm to his mother's storm. To Anna, he was not just a son, but her confidant, her best friend, and the one person who seemed to understand the real woman behind the glamour. Daniel had grown up in the shadow of Anna's chaotic rise to fame. From her days as a Texas waitress to becoming a Playboy model and the widow of billionaire J. Howard Marshall. Yet, despite the fame surrounding her, Anna often said that Daniel kept her grounded. "He's my reason for living," she once told interviewers. A rare glimpse of sincerity behind the camera flashes. Friends who knew them described their relationship as unusually close. Daniel often accompanied his mother to red carpet events, movie premieres, and even to her TV shoots, where he stayed quietly in the background, protective, but never intrusive. That unbreakable bond made what happened in September 2006 all the more devastating. On September 7, Anna gave birth to her second child, Dannielynn Hope Marshall Stern, at a hospital in Nassau, Bahamas. The delivery went smoothly, and those close to her said Anna was overjoyed, glowing even as she held her baby girl. It seemed for a brief moment that the actress and model had found peace after years of legal battles and tabloid turmoil. 3 days later, that peace shattered forever. On September 10, 2006, Daniel, who had flown to the Bahamas to visit his mother and meet his newborn sister, died suddenly in Anna's hospital room. He was only 20 years old. The young man had reportedly arrived just hours earlier, excited to see his mom and the baby. But within minutes, tragedy struck. Anna awoke to find Daniel unresponsive in a chair at her bedside. Despite frantic attempts to revive him, it was too late. An autopsy later revealed that Daniel had died from an accidental drug overdose caused by a lethal combination of methadone, Zoloft, and Lexapro, a mix of prescription medications that depressed his respiratory system. Authorities ruled the death unintentional, noting that Daniel had been taking the medications for back pain and depression. Yet, for Anna Nicole, no explanation could lessen the unbearable weight of her grief. Witnesses later described the scene as utterly heartbreaking. When Anna realized her son was gone, she reportedly screamed in agony and clung tightly to his body, refusing to release him. Nurses and doctors struggled desperately to pull her away. One hospital staff member remembered her repeating again and again, "You can't take my baby. He's all I had." That devastating loss sent her into an emotional tailspin from which she would never truly recover. In February 2021, the world witnessed a deeply touching reunion between past and present when Larry Birkhead and his daughter Dannielynn Birkhead appeared in a 2020 television special dedicated to Anna Nicole Smith's life and legacy. Airing on the 14th anniversary of Anna's death, the program served as both a tribute and a journey of discovery. It led father and daughter back to where everything began, Mexia, Texas, the small hometown of the woman who would become one of America's most unforgettable icons. For Dannielynn, who was 14 years old at the time, the experience offered a rare opportunity to connect with a mother she had never known beyond photographs, headlines, and stories. Guided by her father, she walked through the streets and landmarks of Mexia, the high school where Anna once roamed the halls as Vicki Lynn Hogan, the diner where she worked as a waitress, and the neighborhoods where she dreamed of a bigger life. As they toured the quiet Texas town, the atmosphere was nostalgic and tender. The focus of the special was less about the scandal and spectacle that had surrounded Anna Nicole's fame and more about rediscovering the young woman she had been before the world knew her name. "When we talk about Anna Nicole, there were a lot of happy moments for her," Birkhead said during the program. "There were a lot of highs before there were a lot of lows." His words carried both pride and sorrow, acknowledging that while Anna's story was marked by tragedy, it was also filled with light, laughter, and ambition. The 2020 special gave Dannielynn something she had long been missing, a personal connection to her mother's humanity. She met several of Anna's childhood friends, who spoke warmly of the girl they remembered, fun-loving, kind-hearted, and full of dreams. They recalled her big smile, her fascination with Marilyn Monroe, and her determination to rise above her small-town beginnings. Hearing these stories helped Dannielynn see her mother not as the tabloid figure the world dissected, but as a young woman who once longed for love, family, and a better life, just like most people do. One of the most poignant moments of the special came when Larry Birkhead shared several of Anna's personal belongings with his daughter, keepsakes that had been carefully preserved over the years. Among them was one of the most symbolic items of all, the wedding dress Anna Nicole wore when she married billionaire J. Howard Marshall II in 1994. The satin gown marked a turning point in Anna's life, the moment she transitioned from a small-town dreamer into a woman thrust into the center of one of America's most controversial love stories. As Dannielynn looked at her mother's wedding dress, she smiled shyly, visibly moved by the tangible connection to the mother she never had the chance to truly know. Throughout the journey, Birkhead remained calm and protective, offering context with honesty and warmth. For him, the special was not about revisiting scandal or reigniting debate. It was about revealing the parts of Anna Nicole that the public rarely saw. Anna should be remembered as this larger-than-life figure that was really a caring, giving person, he said, a beautiful woman who loved her fans and loved her family. Each year, as February 8 approaches, Larry Birkhead and his daughter Dannielynn pause to honor the woman whose life and legacy continue to echo through their own, Anna Nicole Smith. On the 15th anniversary of her passing in 2022, Birkhead marked the moment with a heartfelt message that reflected the enduring love and loss he still carries. "Today I remember your heart, your soul, and your beauty both inside and out," he wrote in a touching tribute. "Your love is alive still to this day in the form of a truly one-of-a-kind teenager with her mom's smile, beauty, and courage." Those words were more than a memorial, they were a reflection of how deeply Anna's spirit lives on through her daughter. Now a teenager, Dannielynn bears a striking resemblance to her mother, not only in appearance but also in her warm personality and quiet strength. Although she was only 5 months old when Anna passed away in February 2007, the bond between mother and daughter has been kept alive through stories, photographs, and the way Birkhead has raised her, grounded, curious, and aware of the woman the world once adored. In 2020, the public was given a closer look at the complex relationship between Birkhead and Anna Nicole through the Lifetime documentary Hopelessly in Love. The program offered a rare and intimate view of their romance, which had often been overshadowed by legal battles and tabloid headlines. Birkhead spoke openly about both the highs and lows of their relationship, explaining how their connection was genuine but strained by the chaos of fame and the people surrounding them. For the first time, viewers were able to see beyond the sensationalism to the humanity of a couple who had once loved deeply but were pulled apart by circumstances larger than themselves. Birkhead's decision to revisit their relationship was not about seeking sympathy or attention, but about restoring truth to Anna's story. "There's always been this fascination with Anna Nicole," he said, "but a lot of people never really knew her heart. She was funny, sweet, and incredibly loving, especially when it came to her kids." The Lifetime special reminded audiences that beneath the headlines was a woman who longed for family, stability, and love, a side of her often buried beneath the weight of her celebrity. That fascination with Anna Nicole's life has never faded. In January 2022, Netflix announced the production of a new documentary featuring never-before-seen footage, promising to explore her rise from a small-town Texas girl to an international icon. Eagerly anticipated by fans, the project aimed to go beyond surface glamour and delve into the deeper story of Anna's ambition, vulnerability, and cultural impact. For Birkhead, these ongoing retrospectives are bittersweet. While they bring renewed attention to a woman who was often misunderstood, they also reopen old wounds. Still, he continues to embrace them as opportunities to preserve Anna's legacy in a way that honors her true self. Speaking again on ABC's 2020, Birkhead reflected, "She inspired a lot of people. I think she changed a lot of lives. That's why I think to this day there's still a fascination about Anna Nicole. And I think there will be for a long time." Every spring, Larry Birkhead and his daughter Dannielynn Birkhead travel to Louisville, Kentucky, where tradition, fashion, and family memories converge at the Kentucky Derby. It is more than a glamorous outing, it is a deeply personal pilgrimage. The Derby holds deep personal significance for the pair because it is the very place where Larry first met Anna Nicole Smith, the woman whose life and legacy continue to influence their own. Over the years, their appearances at the event have evolved into a heartfelt annual tradition, symbolizing how far they have both come since the whirlwind early chapters of Dannielynn's life. Each year before the main race, the duo attends the prestigious Barnstable Brown Gala, one of Louisville's most star-studded pre-Derby parties. The evening is a celebration of music, fashion, and philanthropy. For the Birkheads, it also serves as an opportunity to honor the joyful, outgoing spirit Anna Nicole once brought to such gatherings. At the 2022 Barnstable Brown Gala, Dannielynn made headlines for her striking outfit, a stunning black and white ensemble originally worn by Janet Jackson at the same event in 2003. Larry had purchased the iconic look at a charity auction. The moment represented a full-circle fashion tribute, perfectly reflecting Dannielynn's growing confidence and her connection to both her parents' glamorous past and her own evolving modern style. Janet Jackson is more than just a fashion icon to the Birkheads, she is a shared passion. Father and daughter are devoted fans of the pop legend and have attended several of her concerts together. After the 2022 Derby, they caught one of Janet's shows and later traveled to Cincinnati in July 2022 for another performance. Before that Cincinnati concert, Larry shared a playful Instagram post, writing, "Heading out to Dannielynn's second Janet Jackson concert, my millionth out in Cincinnati, as we sit here arguing which one of us is the bigger Janet fan. It's going to be nasty outside in the 100 degrees weather, but we are looking forward to it." The post perfectly captured their teasing, light-hearted dynamic, a father and daughter bonded by inside jokes, shared musical obsessions, and a love for life's simple joys. Their excitement reached an unforgettable peak after the concert when they had the opportunity to meet Janet Jackson herself. Photos from the night showed genuine smiles and wide-eyed amazement, proving that even after years marked by fame and loss, the Birkheads had built a life full of happiness and normalcy. Their love of music extends beyond Janet Jackson. In June 2023, they spent Father's Day together at a Duran Duran concert, another special evening celebrating their close bond. Larry shared a photo of the two smiling at the venue, alongside a throwback image of them sharing a pair of earbuds when Dannielynn was just a little girl. "Having a great Father's Day with Dannielynn at the Duran concert," he wrote. "I've been trying to school her on good music way back since she was a baby." The post perfectly summarized their relationship, part parenting, part friendship, and entirely heartfelt. When they are not attending concerts or charity galas, the Birkheads enjoy something even simpler, trips to Disneyland. In January 2024, the pair visited the California theme park, continuing a cherished family tradition that began when Dannielynn was young. Over the years, Disneyland has become their favorite escape, a place where red carpets are replaced with roller coasters, and they can simply enjoy being dad and daughter. Larry shared photos from their most recent visit, reflecting on Instagram about past trips and marveling at how quickly time has passed. These glimpses into their life, the laughter at concerts, the elegance of derby events, and the carefree moments at Disneyland, reveal a side of Larry and Dannielynn far removed from the tragedy that once defined their family story. Larry has often said his main goal was to give his daughter a normal childhood in an abnormal world, and it is clear that he succeeded. After Anna Nicole Smith's sudden death in 2007, Larry was left not only to raise their infant daughter but also to safeguard the memories and possessions that defined Anna's extraordinary life. Among those treasured items were her glamorous outfits, red carpet gowns, fashion-forward ensembles, and her eclectic everyday wardrobe, each piece reflecting her unique personality. Unsure what the future would bring, Larry made a deeply sentimental decision. He carefully packed away all of Anna Nicole's clothing, saving it for the day when their daughter might want to connect with her mother through the garments she once wore. For years, the boxes remained sealed, a private archive of a woman the world adored and a daughter who barely had the chance to know her. As Dannielynn grew older, however, her curiosity about her mother deepened. By May 2023, Larry shared with People magazine that his daughter had finally begun opening some of those boxes. "There's some t-shirts and different things she fits in," he said with a smile. "But there's also some things that she'll say, 'Dad, no thanks. That's not my style.'" His words painted the picture of a teenager with her own fashion sense, respectful of her mother's glamorous legacy while confident enough to define her own identity. The pieces Dannielynn chose were not the dazzling gowns that made Anna Nicole famous, but more personal items, casual tops, vintage shirts, and sentimental keepsakes that reminded her of the mother she lost as a baby. For her, these clothes were not fashion statements, they were emotional connections. Each item offered a glimpse into the real Anna Nicole, not the tabloid sensation or Hollywood headline, but the woman who laughed, dreamed, and lived boldly. Still, not everything in the wardrobe was suitable for a teenager. Larry joked that some pieces were far too revealing, explaining, "There's also some things that would have to wait till later." The remark perfectly captured their father-daughter relationship, playful, protective, and rooted in mutual respect. Larry's decision to preserve Anna Nicole's wardrobe was never about nostalgia alone. It was about keeping her legacy tangible. Over the years, he has revealed that he saved nearly everything, from designer dresses and red carpet shoes to iconic magazine shoot outfits and everyday jeans. Each item tells the story of Anna Nicole's transformation from small-town Texas waitress Vicki Lynn Hogan into international superstar Anna Nicole Smith. Growing up surrounded by these memories has quietly taught Dannielynn who her mother truly was, her laughter, her ambition, and her struggles. While she may not always want to wear her mother's famously daring outfits, the ability to reach into those boxes and touch something that once belonged to Anna is a connection most daughters would treasure. Larry has always emphasized that he wants Dannielynn to explore her mother's legacy in her own time and on her own terms. He has turned down offers to auction or publicly display Anna's belongings, choosing instead to keep them private, sacred reminders of the woman who changed his life. "It's all for Dannielynn," he has said. "When the time comes, she will decide what to do with it." Reportedly, each year Larry Birkhead and his daughter turn the Kentucky Derby into a living tribute, not only to the sport's timeless glamour, but to the unforgettable woman who brought them together, Anna Nicole Smith. Held at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, the Derby has become more than a social event for them, it is a tradition filled with love and memory. In May 2023, the father-daughter duo once again walked the red carpet at the 149th Annual Derby, continuing a ritual they have honored since Dannielynn was little. That year, she captivated attention in a breathtaking sunflower print ball gown. Her radiant smile and natural grace were unmistakably reminiscent of her late mother's star power. Completing the look, she wore jewelry from Anna Nicole's personal collection, adding an emotional layer to her glamorous appearance. The choice was deeply symbolic, serving as a bridge between the Hollywood past her mother once ruled and the bright, grounded future her father continues to build for her. However, the look did not come together easily. As Birkhead shared with People magazine, the logistics behind that stunning outfit were anything but simple. "To be honest, the dress was so big, I had to drive it from Florida," he said, laughing. "It was too big to go on the plane and check it in. This was a full-on production." That small confession, half joke and half dad duty, perfectly captured the easygoing humor that defines their relationship. Whether they are attending red carpet events or simply sharing quiet moments together, Birkhead's devotion to his daughter has always been clear. When May 2024 arrived, the duo marked another milestone, the 150th Kentucky Derby, an anniversary event that was as vibrant and memorable as ever. This time, Dannielynn surprised everyone with a bold and creative fashion statement. She arrived in a stunning red gown inspired by her favorite Japanese superhero character, Hino Aji, from Kamen Rider Yu-O Tajir Combo. The fiery, costume-inspired design was a playful twist on derby fashion and reflected both her individuality and her youthful spirit. While other guests dazzled in florals and feathers, Dannielynn embraced pop culture flair, proving she wasn't just her mother's daughter, but very much her own person. Another notable event, the Barnstable Brown Kentucky Derby Eve Gala, has always been more than a glamorous night out for Larry Birkhead and his daughter Dannielynn. It is a deeply personal tradition, a full-circle tribute to the night that changed both of their lives forever. In May 2023, at the 34th annual Barnstable Brown Gala, that meaning shone through once again as Dannielynn honored her late mother, Anna Nicole Smith, in the most heartfelt way possible. For the special evening, the now teenage Dannielynn turned heads in a stylish and emotional outfit, wearing a custom blouse adorned with images from her mother's legendary Guess campaign. The iconic black and white photos of Anna Nicole, which once defined the glamorous 1990s era of the brand, now framed her daughter's own red carpet moment. It wasn't just fashion, it was storytelling through style. Every photo on the fabric captured the essence of Anna Nicole, her confidence, her allure, and her unmistakable charisma, all of which Dannielynn now carries in her own quiet, modern way. Standing proudly by her side, Larry Birkhead coordinated his look perfectly. He wore a tie that matched Dannielynn's blouse, a subtle yet meaningful gesture that symbolized their shared bond, both as father and daughter and as keepers of Anna Nicole's memory. Together, they looked radiant yet grounded, a family that had endured unimaginable loss but continued to celebrate life with grace, humor, and love. The Barnstable Brown Gala itself carries almost cinematic importance in their story. It was at this very event in 2003 that Anna Nicole and Birkhead first crossed paths. Amid the glitz and chaos of Derby weekend, their meeting was brief but magnetic, one of those serendipitous encounters that forever alters the course of a life. Birkhead has often reflected on that night as a turning point, one that led to both the greatest love and the deepest heartbreak of his life. Speaking to People, he shared with striking honesty, "It's funny how one event can change your life. And that's what this party did for me. If I had not been there that night and had that connection, how different my life would have been if I hadn't met Anna and had our daughter." It is a sentiment that resonates more powerfully with each passing year. For Birkhead, attending the gala is not just a nod to nostalgia, it is a moment of gratitude. It reminds him of how love and fate collided on that Kentucky night 2 decades ago, leading to the birth of a daughter who would one day become his entire world. As Dannielynn Birkhead approaches her senior year of high school, the once wide-eyed little girl the world met during one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking sagas has blossomed into a grounded, focused, and ambitious young woman. Now 17, she is balancing the weight of her famous legacy with the everyday experiences of a normal teenager: exams, friendships, and dreams for the future. What truly stands out, however, is her commitment to her studies and the quiet resilience that defines both her and her father, Larry Birkhead. In June 2023, Birkhead could not hide his pride when he took to Instagram to share a touching update about his daughter's academic achievements. "Dannielynn finished 11th grade and maintained honor roll through some challenging times. We had taken care of my mom before she passed away. I am so proud," he wrote, his words radiating both pride and tenderness. Behind the celebratory message was a deeply human story. The final months of Birkhead's mother's life had been emotionally taxing for the family, yet Dannielynn managed to stay focused on her schoolwork, proving that perseverance runs in her blood. For many who have followed her journey since birth, the image of a confident, intelligent teenager thriving in school is a remarkable testament to how far she has come. After growing up largely away from the chaos of fame under the steady and protective care of her father, Danny has developed an admirable sense of balance. She may have inherited her mother's beauty and charm, but her discipline, humility, and sharp intellect are entirely her own. In interviews, Birkhead often speaks candidly about his approach to raising her, making it clear that while he acknowledges her famous lineage, his main goal has always been to give her a stable and normal upbringing. "We don't sit around the house and talk about Hollywood," he once told People, emphasizing how education and character have always been priorities, and it shows. Whether she is attending a charity gala, visiting her mother's hometown, or sitting through a high school exam, Dannielynn handles every situation with grace beyond her years. Perhaps most surprising and refreshing is the direction she is considering for her future. During that same People interview, Birkhead revealed that Dannielynn is considering a career in forensics. It is a field that might seem unexpected for someone whose mother graced magazine covers and whose life began under tabloid scrutiny. Yet for those who know her father's influence, it makes perfect sense. Dannielynn's fascination with investigation, logic, and evidence reflects her analytical side, one that is curious about truth, a quality that would make her a natural fit for forensic science. Birkhead often jokes about how quickly time has flown by. From bedtime stories and father-daughter trips to Disneyland to now discussing college applications, it has been a whirlwind journey. It's hard to believe she's getting ready for college, he has said in interviews, often reflecting on how proud Anna Nicole would be if she could see the young woman their daughter has become. As her senior year approaches, conversations about college applications, majors, and campus visits have become part of their routine. Birkhead has shared that he wants Dannielynn to pursue whatever brings her happiness, whether that means entering a scientific field, exploring her creative talents, or continuing her education closer to home. For now, she is focused on finishing strong. Honor roll placements, volunteer work, and community involvement have all shaped her high school years. And while she occasionally steps into the spotlight for events like the Kentucky Derby, her day-to-day life remains remarkably down-to-earth. She's a teenager who studies hard, listens to music, and spends time with her dad, who still drives her to school and jokes about her playlist choices on the way. The coming year marks a major milestone, the final chapter of her high school journey. It's a moment filled with nostalgia and excitement, not just for Dannielynn, but for Larry as well. Watching his daughter grow into such a thoughtful, capable young woman has been the greatest reward of his life. What do you think about Anna Nicole Smith's daughter, Dannielynn? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.